Hey, everyone. It's Friday night. Friday night. It's That's how we're going to start off the show, I guess. But it is actually Sunday night. Been a long week. Finally made it. We just had huge storms roll through. My whole backyard is completely flooded again. Shook the house a little bit. Um, and it didn't cool anything down. All it did was just make everything more sticky and disgusting and gross. I see all my friends over here. We got a new name over in Pill. We got Mr. Tizo over there and Video Demon Slayer. How you doing over there on Pill? I love you guys. And my boys over in Rumble are already here. We got Jay, who's usually the first one here. I love you, Jay. You're the goat over there. And we got who else? Sean and Tant. What up? I know this is all about Gina, and this is all about Mom's Mystery and Mayhem. And tonight we are going to be talking about weather modification, what all of that means. So, all my curious cloud watchers out there, it's Gina over here. Your star staring woman just broadcasting from my little tinfoil fort. So today like I said, we're going to dive into weather modification. The stuff that kind of makes you wonder who's really pulling the strings in the sky. So grab your umbrellas and your tinfoil hats because we're going to get a little wild. So as you guys know, there have been well over 256 flood alerts across 33 states in the past couple of weeks. And those floods in Texas, not only heartbreaking, um, well over hundreds of lives lost. And then we hear about Rainmaker Technology. They were out there cloud seeding right before. They even came out and said something about it. That they were cloud seeding right before, but it had nothing to do, you know, with what happened. So is that a coincidence? I don't know. Um, but you guys have been buzzing about it. I've seen X buzzing about it. I've even seen it on, different platforms talking about it. So we're gonna get into it, see what all of this stuff is, see what weather modification really is. Because it sounds like science fiction, but it's been real and it's been happening for years, even when I thought it wasn't happening. So we're gonna, dive into all of this stuff over here. Taint says, AKA, yeah, geoengineering. Yeah, it's fucking wild. I have probably either 100 or close to 100 different patents that I have looked up. Um, I have all the notes. I can show you all of those. I only picked two to kind of do in my little presentation and slideshow that I do. So we're definitely going to bring that up. But weather modification is basically humans trying to play God with the sky, to make it rain, to make it stop hailing, clear the fog, just you got to clear the fog so you can get the planes off, so you can make money that way. Um, you know, and it sounds simple, but there's a lot more to it. So I don't know. To me, it's mind-boggling. Like, I get it in some aspects. Like, farmers need rain. We need rain to make our crops, to feed our people. Um, but at the same point, they're playing God. They have bigger plans. It's for, certain things. Like Tant said they're trying to block out the sun. Why? Why? It just makes absolutely no sense. So, hey, crazy dude, what's going on? I'm glad you found us over here. Well, us. It's just me this Sunday evening, just little old Gina. Um, so we're gonna bring up the slideshow that I did. Like I said, it talks over two different patents, and then I'll talk over a couple of other things, and then kind of get your thought on this. Like, is it acceptable? If you do it once, people are going to want to do it more. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? It's a whole different kind of things. Hello, Michael. I know, Sean. I'm always tainting his tant, and I don't mean to. I'm sorry. I love you, tant. See? Tant, 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 not taint. But we'll get there. Drooby Dooby Doo Show is over there. He sent me a nice little cool message over there on X. He's a confirmed and approved weather spotter, which is super cool. I love weather. I wouldn't say a weather nerd. I know a lot about weather. I think it's fascinating, and I love storms. Crazy dude, I was worried about my internet. It went a little fuzzy with the storms that rocked my house about 20 minutes ago. But we'll see how that goes. So we're gonna go ahead and bring up this slideshow after I give you a little schmeal here. Welcome to Mom's Mystery and Mayhem. This is my Sunday night show. I just realized that up in the corner, it's the silly StreamYard logo. That's gay. Over here, rocking my Sunday night alone. You know, a cable guy. You know, crazy dude. I used to work for Comcast, although I don't have any cable guys anymore. Is that a Cinny K? How are you, Cinny? Just stopping in to do all those things. I did see you repost that show. I got the email. So, like I was going to say, guys, make sure you smash that like. Make sure you hit that notification bell. And most importantly, please make sure you follow, and repost. Tell all your friends about me, you know, about that crazy girl who I should have a tinfoil hat, but I have my conspiracy hat on instead this evening. How did you fit all those words on a thumb? Michael, it's called talent, buddy. It's called talent. You just gotta shove it all in. It works, I promise you. So make sure you do all those things. Please, please, please. I think I'm sitting at 309 followers over here. Don't tell Sean, but my goal is to try to catch up to him. Because that would be super cool. Because he's super flying. He's got like 700 and I don't know, bazillion followers now. So make sure you share it with all your friends. Tell them all about me. There will be some changes coming up. So before I get into all of this fun weather modification stuff, few changes that are happening. So I'm sure you guys all remember on my birthday of July 8th, I woke up to no hot water and then realized and found out that I needed to replace my oil tank. So that is happening next Monday on the 28th. So next Sunday, I probably will not be having a show. It depends on how everything goes because my setup right here, the oil tank is right behind it. So I have to take all of this down, clear it all out. My camera just went all crazy. Clear it all out, move it all away from the wall so they can come in Monday morning bright and early to replace the oil tank. Then the following weekend, crazy dude, reposted. Thank you. Sean reposted. Cindy K reposted. Thank you guys. I love you. And then changes after next weekend. So Sean and I are going to try this new streaming thing because we have so many cryptids to battle. And it's taken a little while to get through them. So not this weekend, but the following weekend, what we're going to do is Miss Gina, that's me, I'm going to change my Sunday night conspiracy mystery mayhem shows to Saturday evening. And Sean's Saturday Off the Rails will switch to Sunday evenings. So you'll be oiling up. Shh, the tank. Just the oil tank. That's all, Michael. Didn't you go to church today? Didn't you go to church, Michael? What is happening over here? So, like I said, I got some changes coming up. Obviously, you guys know where to find me most of the time is over at Third Railify. So make sure you come and check us out this week so you can hear more about the upcoming changes to our weekend schedule. So let's dive into it here. We're going to uh, this one. This one. All right. So, shattered skies, weather control patents. So, today we're going to explore innovations and implications of weather manipulation technology and its potential impact. Introduction to weather control patents. So, this presentation explores the groundbreaking innovations of weather control patents, revealing their potential to reshape our understanding of nature. From cloud seeding to atmospheric manipulation, these technologies promise to address critical issues such as drought and extreme storms. And as we navigate the ethical implications and societal impacts, the quest for harnessing weather remains both exciting and controversial. So, as you guys know, I adjust myself all the time because I can never sit still in my chair. Um, Ethical implications. We know we need rain. We know we should try to stop crazy storms if we can. But what are the ethical implications for this? And if we can use it to make it rain on our crops and we can use it to stop hail from ruining crops, what stops that ethical boundary lines of our military or other countries or other governments harnessing the same type of weather control to use it for not so good things? Hey, Mr. Scott, welcome in. Maybe add a little extra lube. Oh, God. Guys, so you know how I burnt myself? Well, today I like hit it if you're squeamish and I like have this little peely thing here and it really hurts. So if you hear me say, it's because I hit it again and it hurts. Um, all you pilled folks over there, I'm loving all of the notifications I'm getting of all the reposts and red pills. I appreciate you guys over there. Love you so much. Cassie, happy Sunday, girl. I hope your Sunday cleaning's going well over there. Um, so the first weather patent, the significance of the first weather patent cannot be understated. This groundbreaking invention paves the way for modern meteorology, enabling scientists to predict atmospheric changes by establishing foundational techniques in weather observation. It has influenced countless innovations in climate studies and technology. Understanding this historical milestone helps us appreciate the advancements we have made in the weather forecasting and climate research. All right, so historical context that we got going here. So, Lewis Gatherman's invention is significant as one of the earliest documented efforts to produce rainfall artificially. This pattern predates modern cloud seeding technique, which uses material like silver iodide, but shares the same goal of enhancing precipitation. It was issued in 1891, and it highlights a long-standing human fascination with controlling the weather, a field that has since evolved with both technological advancements and ongoing debates about efficiency and environmental impacts. Um, so it's 1891. Think about that. It sounds so long ago. And that was the first one ever recorded, which makes me, kind of question kind of things. Like, I get it. Farmers in dry places like over in Mikey's land over there. Hey, Deluxe Knight, how are you? And even Deluxe, Deluxe is a farmer over here. Like, you need rain for your crops. And if you're not getting rain for your crops, then we have an issue. We have a shortage of food. We have a shortage of supplies. So we need the rain. We need cities to fill their reservoirs and keep that stocked up. We need drinking water. Airports need their fogs cleared. Um, that's the official story. But I think it's more about all control. They can control it, then they can make money off of it. Anything you can control turns into money. So why do we think the government's into this, and why are they doing this? So Rainmaker Technology seeded clouds on July 2nd, 2025, right before those deadly floods in Texas. But they say it's unrelated. So we're going to talk about Louis Guntherman's invention and the significance that played. Um, yeah, irrigation tank has played a huge thing, and it has been around for a long time. You look at different pyramids, you look at um, the history books, you look at National Geographic and the way they used to build their cities, and they all had some sort of means to transport water to their locations, generally with long gullies or, digging ponds and stuff like that to contain the water. So it has been a long, 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 long thing. People understand humans, we need water just like animals to survive. So let's dig into this a little bit deeper. Um, hey, Stuck, how are you over there? So this mentions silver iodine. And what is silver iodine in weather modification? So silver iodine, AGI, is a yellow crystalline chemical compound used in cloud seeding to induce precipitation. Guys, bear with me. Its structure mimics ice, and it encourages water vapor in clouds to form ice crystals, which could lead to rain or snow. So we have the pros of this. So effective precipitation. So it enhances rainfall or snowfall in drought prone or water scarce regions. It has agricultural support. It boosts water availability for crops, improving yields. So that means that it helps with your farmers. They're able to grow their crops, they're able to create a living, they're able to support themselves and their family, and they're feeding our population to keep us all alive. So make sure you support your local farmers. See what happens when you don't read the scary? I know, Mike, we need more scary. Deluxe Knight says farmers need to start MAFGA movement. Stop importing all of our food and destroying American farming. We can mostly stand on our own and feed the rest of the world at the same time. I've always wondered about that, Deluxe. Maybe me and you can do a show one weekend where we can talk about everything that you do and the importance of American farming and what it looks like over there and how the government's been treating you. That would be really fun. I'd love to do that with you. Another pro also is disaster mitigation. So it can reduce hail size or redirect storms, protecting infrastructure. It's also cost effective. It's relatively low cost compared to other water management solutions. Stucky over there in Pilled has gifted the cookie. Thank you, my dear. Cookies are delicious. I hope your weekend is going great. Did you get those storms, Stucky over there in New York that just rolled through Boston? They were pretty wild. They didn't last very long, but the rain that came down was wild. The cons of the silver iodine. So environmental concerns. So there is a potential toxicity to aquatic life and soil if overused. um, Again, they don't know the ethical concerns or potential toxicity that happens in this. So unpredictable outcomes may cause unintended weather changes or flooding. Limited efficiency. Success depends on specific cloud conditions, not universally effective. And then you have the ethical issues. altering weather can affect neighboring regions, raising disputes. Let me just look over here at your comments. So the greatest industry, Skibbity, Ohio, is agricultural. Convince the rest of the states. Hey, trucker. So I'm guessing no one knows what Victory Garden is. So Victory Gardens, I believe, and you may have to correct me, but I believe Victory Gardens were a specific plot of land, usually in the center of a town or a city, or even on somebody's property, where you could go, I could go, my neighbor could go, other people in the town could go, and they can plant their own crops, but you share the food and the yields that come from all of your plants. We're gonna bring this up over here if I can find it real quick. I just want to thank you, Mr. Sean of Third Railify, for gifting 1 subscription to Mom's Mystery and Mayhem. Love you, Sean. Thank you so much. Oh, and look at that. Michael, you were gifted that subscription. Welcome to Gina's Red Rash. I hope you enjoy it over here. I don't have a very well-versed rash over here on my channel. Gina, it was people growing their own food on their own land for the World War II effort. Oh, okay. Thank you. I knew it had to do with people growing their own crops, but I didn't actually understand the background to it. Oh, look at this. Look at this, Mr. Scott. I love you, Mr. Scott. Mr. Scott gifting 1 subscription to Mom's Mystery Mayhem. I love you, Scott. And that went to George. George, welcome in, dear. I hope you're enjoying the show this evening. So the Victory Gardens were not community. They were individual incentives the government pushed to save food rations. Oh, thank you very much, George, for that little lesson there. I appreciate it. And welcome to the red wall of Gina's Rash. Mr. Scott says, happy late birthday, Gina. Thank you so much, love. I appreciate that. I was going to gift this the other week. I appreciate you so much. By 1944, Victory Gardens supplied an impressive 40% of fresh vegetables consumed in the United States. That's a fascinating number. 40% is huge. I don't understand why they wouldn't bring that back. That would be amazing. It's fresh food, less chemicals, more healthy for you guys. The red rash did spread to my arm. Dude, look, my burn here, and then I was doing something. I don't know if you can see it, but I totally scratched myself right here before I went live. Like, my whole arm is a mess. It's terrible. Victory Gardens. Yeah, I might have to look into that more. I did hear of them, but I thought they were something different. So you taught me something new. I appreciate it. I like learning new things. Oh my God, you guys are gonna make me cry tonight. Crazy dude, I know we just met, but I'm throwing it out there. I love you, bro. I love you. I love the support. You guys are so amazing. You know how to make a girl feel appreciated and loved. He says, all red, come on. I did. Deluxe Night was gifted that gift from Crazy Dude. Welcome to Gina's Red Rash Deluxe. I hope you enjoy it on this side here. Cassie says, red wave incoming. Da-da-da-da. All right, so here we go. So this is Louis Gatherman. So this U.S. patent 462.795. This was the first method of producing rainfall, and it was patented in 1891. Gina, give Crazy Dude a link on Tuesday. Crazy Dude needs to send me a message either on Discord or X. I prefer X. It's a lot easier that way. You can find me if you look right down here on X at SHRTY7081. You can follow me there. That's where I post all of my shows. That's where I tell you where I'm going to be that evening. Gina does stream 7 days a week. That's a lot of Gina, so I hope you guys don't get sick of me. Oh my God, Tant. Now I have to be really extra careful over here and pronounce your name the right way, Tantalum. Tantalum has gifted 1 subscription to Mom's Mystery and Mayhem. Tant, I love you, brother. Love you. You're like the big brother I never had. You're a sweetheart. And that went to Mr. Sean. Sean, you were gifted that gift. So now you are part of Gina's Red Rash. Welcome in. I hope you enjoy it. Yeah, crazy dude, hit me up. You know what I gotta do because I have a mind of a pigeon. I don't even know where my I had a whole thing of sticky notes over here. I don't know where they went. Oh, here they are. I need to write myself a little note here. So, crazy dude. Link for Tuesday, because if Gina doesn't remind herself, and Gina will forget. So you're going up on my sticky wall. I also have to tomorrow remind Darnell to do something as well. Tant, are you serious? You rolling in with another gift? Tant gifting the 2nd subscription of his evening to Mom's Mystery and Mayhem. Tant, you're crazy. I love you so much. And crazy dude. Look at that. You guys are sharing subs over here. Gift for a gift. Welcome to Gina's Red Rash. I hope you enjoy it here. You guys are amazing. Mr. Tizo says they don't want you to be self-sufficient. And when I was talking about all of this and looking at the messages over here, Mr. Scott Austin basically told me I answered my own question. Because if we're self-sufficient, then we rely less on the government. If we rely less on the government, then they don't have the power that they need to keep the people under control. And 2 things you can take away from the human population in order to create chaos is food and water. So if they have control over both of those things, then they have the power to keep us as their little puppets, because without them, we won't have food. And it's really fucking stupid. So I think it's not fair. I don't even know what we could do to fix the problem. So it just happens. So the description of the method. So this patent outlines an early technique for inducing rainfall, a pioneering effort in the field of weather modification. The method involves dispersing specific chemical mixtures into the atmosphere to stimulate precipitation. One key substance mentioned is ammonium nitrate, which, along with other compounds, was intended to trigger the formation of rain by altering atmospheric conditions. While the exact mechanism described in the patent reflects the scientific understanding of the time, it represents an innovative attempt to artfully influence weather patterns. So what I'm going to do here is post the pattern here for you, so you guys can look it up as well. You literally can just copy and paste that if you want to into your Google search, Grok search, whatever search you want to use. And it can it'll bring it up for you. Also, if I can move this down low enough, Let me go to it here. I should have had this up earlier, but I wasn't prepared well enough. Also here, if you click on this website as well, and what I'll do is after the show is that website that I just posted, I will put into my show notes. That website, actually, I will, is the Patent Public Search Basic. That's what PPUBS stands for. So you can literally go there and search up any patent that you want, and you can bring up the PDF of it and see everything in that patent. And it's quite informative. It's amazing the amount of information that's out there if you just do the research. And it's scary because people don't want to do that, and they're like, "Oh no, that can't be true. We don't produce rainfall. That's all the sky's job." Well, no, sorry. It's been happening since 1891. Tat, go outside for that smoke bag, buddy. Enjoy every last puff. So the next patent that I found to be quite interesting is pattern 2550-324. So that particular method, which I will bring up for you here before I read this slide, is, so we're going to, and copy and paste that the correct way. All right, so we are going to share, stop screen share. We're going to share, where is it? I have so many things open now. All right, so this is the website that I showed you, that I put in there. Gina, look at Pilled. Sean! What the hell was that? Are you serious? You're gonna make me, I don't want to cry on stream. What are you doing? You're crazy. I love you, but you're crazy. Sean has donated a lot. 16,000 gold pills. That this pays for your passport. Get it done, Sean. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. You're crazy. You're insane. I don't even know what to say. Okay, we're gonna move on from that. So, you put in any patent number here. You search for it, and it'll bring it up for you. So you can see right here, this pattern is for the process for controlling weather. So you click on it, and it's going to bring up the patent for you. So this patent here, the process for controlling weather. So this was by Harvey and Brandon Wilton. I sat down and I read this. It is very, very interesting. Very long. And it also has the references cited. So this pattern, the reason I chose it, was because he did reference the first patent of creating rainfall. So what I did is I went in, read it all, and then I broke it down into slides to make it easier. 160,000. Oh, I read that wrong. I'm sorry. Um, you're crazy, bro. You are absolutely crazy. Um, all right. So decoding US patent 2550324, a weather modification breakthrough exploring the science, impacts, and ethics of weather control texts. So the patent overview. The title is Process for Controlling Weather. The inventor was Harvey M. Brandew Wilton, assigned to WC Inc. in Delaware. Oh, and I just hit my burn. This was filed May 7th, 1948. It was patented on April 24th, 1951, and they said it expired in 1968. The objective of this patent was to disperse clouds and fog by reducing visible moisture particles to improve weather conditions. Historical context here. So it builds on the 1940s cloud seeding discoveries. Example, Vincent Schaeffer's 1946 dry ice experiments, and part of the early geoengineering efforts to address aviation, agricultural, and disaster mitigation challenges. Additional depth. Patent cites earlier weather modification attempts like Lewis Gutherman's 1891 rainfall patent, and it reflects post-World War II optimism in technology control over nature driven by military and civilian needs. So it's kind of interesting that my boys over here talked about the Victory Gardens in World War II. Um, 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 I forgot what I was saying. You guys talking about World War II and the Victory Gardens, and this actually reflects post-World War II optimism in the technology control over nature. So it's kind of interesting how that happened. So the scientific mechanism and feasibility. So how does weather control work? Oops, let me go back. So meteorological basis. So clouds form when rising air cools to its dew point and condensing water vapor into droplets. Fog and cumulonimbus clouds, storm producers, rely on stable, visible moisture particles. Target applications. So they cited in that patent that I brought up on the screen, all of those big words. Amanda, how are you, doll? Drooby Doo, right? Sean's crazy. Sean is crazy. So target application. So they cite and they say that the reason that they wanted to control the weather were a few reasons. They wanted to clear the fog for aviation visibility. So example, they cited airports. They cited military bases. So basically to clear commercial scenes so planes can take off, people can go on vacations, they can travel for businesses, and also to, and when needed, get our military guys up and off the ground if there was ever a situation that we needed to get them up and going right away and there was fog happening and they couldn't see in order to take off. It also reduces hail and lightning in cumulonimbus clouds, and to what they quote, mitigate hurricanes, typhoons by altering wave transmissions. So the patent's method. So they want to disperse nucleating agents. So flake ice, silver iodine, dry ice. And what they do is they drop it via aircraft or ground-based generators. So they have big fans where they can blow things up into the sky. They can send weather balloons up and disperse the chemicals that way. They can also send stuff up kind of like fireworks, where they just explode everything into the air. So these agents act as a nuclei, reducing droplet size below visibility threshold or preventing condensation. So the result is it dissipates fog, clears the clouds, and it weakens storm systems by disrupting moisture dynamics. Um, Feasibility and limitations. So localized efforts requires precise delivery and favorable atmospheric conditions. Silver iodide effective at -5 degrees Celsius to -20 degrees Celsius, less reliable in warmer or drier conditions. And the Patton's method unproven at scale. So modern cloud seeding achieves 10 to 15% rainfall increase in optimal cases. Hey, be the one. How are you, dear? Um, Additional depths here. So silver iodized crystal structure mimics ice, promoting nucleation. So that is also posted in, I'm going to butcher this guy's last name, Langmuir's 1948 studies. But there are some delivery challenges. Aircraft dispersal is very costly, and ground generators are limited by wind patterns. Also, there is no evidence that this pattern was optional nationalized. Modern analogs examples are China's weather modification problem. They also face similar constraints. Um, all the peeps coming in, like Mandy, and Mr. B the one. Make sure you right above my head follow all these beautiful instructions here. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I now need a repost button in there. Um, maybe when I do the rebranding. So now that I have a lot of my friends in here over on Pilled and Rumble, Mom's Mystery and Mayhem, I believe is going to go under a little name change. I'm feeling a little a little different about this long name. It's difficult to type. The more channels that I go on, I'm getting complaints, Michael, that Mom's Mystery and Mayhem is tough to fit on thumbnails. um, and everywhere I go, hi mermaid, welcome in. Mr. Nomad, hit that button twice. It's always best to hit it twice. But if you hit it twice, make sure you hit it one more time for good luck, because then you like, then you unliked, and then you like again. So make sure you do that. I'm gonna do a rebranding. Everywhere I go, people are like, "Oh, Mom's Mystery and Mayhem's in the comment." Hi, that's just Gina. So, Sean and I were talking one night about the name and stuff like that, and he's like, "What about just Gina?" It's simple, it's to the point, it's you, it fits. So I think Just Gina is going to be the new name of the channel. So I would love to get you guys to tell me how you feel about this new name change. Manda, I just saw you reposted. Every time, again, you guys repost the show, I get a cool little email that says you reposted. So I love you guys. So Cassie's in for the rebranding of and Just Gina. You know, like Just Jack, but Just Gina. Nomad. That's hilarious. Ash, welcome in, dear. I'm glad to see you here. Mermaid lives 5 minutes from Raython. LOL, storms always miss us. That's very interesting. Yes, I have updated the logo that you see when I type in the chat. Also on some of my profile pictures, you'll see the new one. Crazy Dude likes it. It's simple. That's what I'm thinking. It's simple. It's easy to use, easy to search. I think it works. Sanglet says, I still think you should use the G files. The G files, huh? G files. So when will we ask? When will we ask? Should we do it? Not can we do it? Yeah. So let's see here. The next slide. So impacts on humans and the environment. The benefit risks of weather modifications. Double-edged sword. So positive impacts that we have here. Hey, Madness Comic Network. Welcome over here on Pilled. I appreciate you stopping by and saying hello. I appreciate it. You're welcome, Be the One. You should feel special. I want all my chats to feel special. Because I love you guys. I love you guys so much. It's like a whole nother family. You guys are amazing. So positive impacts of weather modification. So it clears fog, reducing delays and crashes. Example, 1940s fog-related aviation incidents. Also, agricultural protection. So it dissipates hail-forming clouds, saving $1 billion annually in U.S. crop losses. That's the USDA estimate. So, I mean, $1 billion, that's huge. That's a lot of money, a lot of crops being saved. So not only does it save money annually, it also feeds a lot of people as well. Disaster mitigation. So it weakens hurricanes, so they say. I don't know how much I believe that, as we can see from the storms that have been happening in the last few weeks, maybe month or so as well. So you have Project Storm Fury in 1962 to 1983, which also tested similar concepts. So the economic benefit supports tourism, outdoor events, and water management in arid region. So reading all of this just says to me, money, money, money. How much money can the government make if they did all of these things? I mean, obviously, don't get me wrong. The losing the crops, that would be a terrible, terrible thing. Obviously, we don't that. We don't want that at all. We want to save stuff. They can weaken them. That don't mean that they are. Ash, you are 100% correct. They have all these patterns. Again, I'll show you the list that I have compiled. It's a lot. There are so many patterns for so many different things. It's insane. And the negative impacts that weather modification has. So it's a double-edged sword. It alters local rainfall, potentially causing droughts or floods elsewhere, which they call a rain shadow effect. So Boston needs rain. So what do? They fly up in the air, they drop some silver iodine in there, and they make it rain. But in the process of making it rain, the air current pushed it over the ocean, sucking up more water, and then it turns up to the coast of Maine, and it stalls over Maine, and now it floods Maine. It's crazy. Health concerns. Silver iodide toxicity debate. Low doses, likely safe. Which I hate the word likely safe because that generally means it's not safe. That's what they're telling you. It's likely safe. And the long-term ecosystem impacts are unclear. That had me a little bit baffled and confused because they started using this, as far as we can see, as far as I could research, it was the 1891 patent that I just went over. That's a long time. They should be able to address and know the long-term ecosystem impacts that this has. It shouldn't be unclear. This is something that they should know, you know, considering they pushed out the clot shot in 6 months, and that was deemed safe, but this is still unclear here. I don't understand why. Also, the unintended consequences, so redirected storms, may harm neighboring regions. So there was a 1970 seeding lawsuit that we will talk about, and also ethical issues. So unequal access, so wealthy nations, actor dominant, potential for geopolitical weaponization. And this is the part that I kind of touched upon in the beginning. If we use this and we can control the weather here, you best to believe that when we go to other countries to invade, take over, help, support, whatever the excuse, I'm not even gonna say reason, I'm calling it an excuse is, let's make it rain. Let's make it rain. Let's flood them out. Let's throw some wind in there. Let's take out all their helicopter or planes. Let's drop some fog so they can't lift off. This causes big ethical issues. I don't think it's fighting fair. To control the weather is not fighting fair. The sad part it is silver iodide is most likely safer than the claw shot. Exactly, Joy. It's insane. It's insane. And the same people, the same people pushing the clot shot are the same people saying that cloud seeding is not happening. We don't control the weather. We can't control the weather. Why would we do that? It's all the same damn people. It doesn't work. Singlet said, "See Vietnam." Um, no, man. So case studies. So if you look at some of the case studies, so one case study that I found was China's 2008 Olympics cloud seeding reduced the rain, but it raised concerns about downstream drought. So they seeded to stop the rain for the Olympics. And in return, what happened is it didn't rain at all for a long time. There was a huge drought. Crops were dying. People didn't have enough drinking water. Rivers and lakes were drying up. It was terrible. An additional depth that I looked into, so the ecological risks. So silver iodine bioaccumulation in soil and water studies show minimal impact, but call for monitoring. So they're watching it. It's just minimal. It's just little impact. But you know, even though it was minimal, we're still gonna monitor it to see if it evolves. By the time it evolves, it's already too late. That's like we're gonna watch the pipe over here that has a small little hole in it. We're just gonna monitor it to see what happens. We know it's gonna eventually get bitter and it's gonna flood your basement, but we're just gonna watch it and monitor it. It just makes me sick. Hey, Michael, how are you, doll? Social equity. So developing nations may lack resources for weather modification, exuberating climate and inequities. So we have the means, we have the means, we have the money, we have the time to help our farmers, our people by increasing rainfall in drought-prone areas to grow crops, to stop the hailstorms, which I haven't seen anything of. So it's just so baffling to me. So what makes us better than other parts of the world that they have lack of rain to grow their crops and feed their people? Why aren't we over there helping them or vice versa? I don't know. There's just a whole lot of social issues. And then legal precedents, 1977 UN Convention. They actually banned weather modification for hostile purposes, reflecting early concerns. So there's that. They actually had to go in and say, hey, listen, you guys, you can come over and invade other countries and drop bombs and shoot things and blow up people and, oh, come on, chair, and buildings and people, but can't control the weather to do it. They have to ban it. Said, nope, no hostile purposes. If you want to help us grow our crops, you can do that, but you can't make it rain in order to come over and slaughter us. Makes sense, right? So, the 1970 seeding lawsuit. So, when I was researching all of this, the notable incident from 1947 with legal repercussions discussed in the 1970s involved Project Cirrus and cloud seeding experiment. So, Project Cirrus was 1947 legal fallout in the 70s. So, on October 13th, HAARP is fucking dangerous, 100%. On October 13th, 1947, an Air Force B-17 seeded a hurricane with dry ice east of Jacksonville, Florida, to study its effects. After the seeding, the hurricane changed course and hit Georgia, causing significant damage. The public blamed the seeding, and the threats of lawsuits emerged, though no formal lawsuits were actually filed at the time. Dr. Irving Langmuir of General Electrics claimed the seeding caused the storm's shift, while the Weather Bureau countered with evidence that hurricanes could naturally change course, diffusing legal threats. By the 1970s, this incident was frequently cited in discussions about the risk and legal liabilities of weather modification as public skepticism grew. Let's see. Ash says, so is the neutrino lab in Antarctica. Yes. Michael says they can dump so much water onto a city, it's unreal, and normies will think God did it. Hello, Lee Snowden 909. Welcome in. I hope you enjoy the channel. If you have not yet been here, please like, share, subscribe, comment, and hit that notification bell to know when I go live. All my new friends in here, I spoke about it earlier before I read the next paragraph. There will be some changes coming up to the show going forward. Next Sunday, as you guys all know, I woke up on my birthday with no hot water and learned that I need a new oil tank. So they are coming next Monday, the 28th, to replace my oil tank, which is behind my computer setup. So Sunday evening, I need to take all of this down, move it back so they can come in and install the oil tank. So next Sunday night, I will not be live. I will be, I believe, taking the night off, unless I want to bring my whole setup back upstairs or maybe another corner of the basement. I don't know what'll happen yet. We'll have to see when we get there. And then, again, Sean and I were discussing maybe some logistics. We have a lot of cryptids to battle, and we'll be here for years. I'm sure you guys would be here with us if it happened. So what we're thinking is moving Gina's to Saturday evening and Sundays, doing a second show about nothing. I think that would be fun. I think that would be interesting. And we want to just see how it goes for a month or two, see how things flow there. So again, make sure you like, subscribe, and share, hit those notification bells. So when Gina goes live and which night I go live, you will know. Hey, Apaco, how you doing over there? Welcome in. Drooby Dooby Doo Show over on Pilled says, we know why they do it, but for me, it's going to be really hard to prove which storms are actually messed with. That's the problem. All your shows are about nothing. Yeah, but you know what, crazy dude? I find those are the most fun. They're fun. They're exciting. You never know what's going to happen or what comes out of somebody's mouth next. I.e., look at SB Clips. Great Rumble channel. A lot of gaming channels. And then there's Sean and Gina. Gina says a lot of stupid shit sometimes, a lot of funny shit, but it's there. So go take a look. I am the resistance. Where have you been? Also, if you keep telling people that I'm your secret crush, it won't be a secret for long. That is not a personal attack. So the 1970 context. So in the 1970s, cloud seeding was actively studied and used, particularly in drought-prone areas like Texas and the western U.S. The 1947 incident fueled debates about liability for unintended consequences, such as flooding or crop damage. While specific lawsuits from the 1970s tied to cloud seeding are not well documented, surprise, surprise, in provided sources, the era saw heightened public and legal scrutiny of weather modification. For example, concerns about environmental impacts led to proposed litig- litigation. Yep, we're just going to breeze by that word. Like the Hart-McGovern-Udall bill in 1970, which aimed to allow citizens to sue for environmental protection, potentially including weather modification damages. George says, and that right there is why they tried to shift blame in Texas recently. You've been lurking, I see, huh? Interesting, sir. Modern perspective. So, recent analysis, example, National Geographic in 2025, clarify that cloud seeding can only marginally increase precipitation, 5 to 15%, and cannot cause extreme weather events like major floods. However, in the 1970s, public misunderstanding and fear of weather control technologies amplified legal concerns. So I found this little interesting tidbit here when I was researching all of this information. So here we are at the NOAA Atlantic Oceanographic and Meteorological Laboratories, U.S. Department of Commerce. Again, we're all here. We know what goes on in the government. That we don't trust the government. We never have. We never should. We should always question it. Weather, NOAA. It's a .gov. Do we trust it? How much do we trust it? Do we believe it? It's interesting. So I found here it was uncategorized. So I had to do a little bit of digging actually to find this. So this article was written, I believe, in 2017. Published on October 12th, 2017. So the 70th anniversary of the first hurricane seeding experiment. So here's all your guys with your big B-17 used in the hurricane seeding by the U.S. Navy. So on the afternoon of October 13th, 1947, an Air Force B-17 aircraft penetrated a hurricane 415 miles east of Jacksonville and dumped several pounds of crushed dry ice into the storm, just to see what would happen. I don't even know who kind of came up with this stuff. I Am the Resistance said they've been modifying the weather since airplanes were invented. So I'm the Resistance, the first patent that I could find. There's not to say that there was some before that. They were just never publicized or put into a database that could be looked at and viewed upon by the public. Was in 1891. So this here of them dumping the crushed dry ice into the storm just to see what happened. This was the first attempt to modify a tropical cyclone by seeding it with freezing nuclei. It was almost the last. So here is what happened. The previous year, Vincent Schaffer, working for General Electric Laboratories, discovered that by introducing dry ice into environment with supercooled water, which is water colder than 32 degrees Fahrenheit or 0 degrees Celsius, but is not yet frozen, he could induce the water to freeze into ice. He realized that this could be done in the free atmosphere and could spur microphysical reactions that would alter clouds and precipitation. At his urging, GE Labs reached an agreement with the Naval Research Laboratory and Army Signaling Corps, dubbed Project Cirrus, to carry out experiments where Air Force aircraft would seed clouds and fog with dry ice to see what changes occurred. It wasn't long before plans were made to try to seed experiment in a hurricane. However, it wasn't until late in the following hurricane season that the Air Force planes and Navy personnel became available to carry out the mission. On October 12th, a hurricane designated King by the Air Force Hurricane Office moved northeastward over Florida, dumping tropical downpours on the southern end, which caused damaging flooding that persisted for days. The next day, the storms moved off the coast and continued out to sea. This seemed an ideal case for Project Cirrus, as the hurricane was no longer interacting with land and should not affect anyone after the experiment. That afternoon, two B-17s and a B-29 left Mobile, Alabama, and flew eastward to intercept the hurricane. The first bomber flew at the cloud at top level and did the seeding. Large chunks of dry ice were fed into a crusher on the plane and dumped from the belly into the clouds below. The second B-17 followed a half-mile behind and 3,000 feet above to document the cloud changes. The trailing B-26 was a control aircraft that carried Schaefer to monitor the changes and direct the other two planes. The aircraft lacked sophisticated homing gear, so it was decided not to penetrate the eye or heavy rain bands of the hurricane, but seed the outer clouds. So, they first made a half-hour run over 100 miles long, dumping 80 pounds of ice along the way. They backtracked then to see what the clouds had done. Next, they did two mass droppings of 50 pounds each into one large cumulus top and orbited the cloud to see any changes. They noticed after the first run, the cloud deck below began to break up. But after the second test, the cloud top continued to grow. Satisfied with their efforts, the airplanes returned to base. The scientists were eager to examine the storm the following day. However, when they flew to the predicted storm location, they had trouble locating the eye. After some hunting around, they found the hurricane nearly 100 miles west of where they expected it to be. To their astonishment, the hurricane had made a 135-degree left turn and was now moving due west. On top of that, it was strengthening. By the afternoon of the 15th, Hurricane King struck Savannah, Georgia. One person died in the storm surge, and the U.S. had $2 million in damages that were done to Georgia and South Carolina. So, I check the comments over here. They have been slowly introducing the technology to us. Michael, you are correct. Be the one said, I worked for local government. People get big heads and feel power. Jean Bondiano, welcome in. Nice to see you. I haven't seen your name here before. I appreciate you coming in, saying hello. Please make sure you look up above, like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, repost, all those fun things. Welcome into my chat. The only thing that I ask in my chat is just be respectful. If you have any issues, please reach out and let me know. I appreciate you being here. The public was was very outraged that the scientists had caused the storm to swerve into Georgia, and threats of lawsuit were thrown about. GE's case was not helped when the head of its laboratory, Dr. Irving, issued a statement that he was 99% sure the storm had changed course due to the seeding. So it's quite interesting there, right? The government says no, no, no. But the head doctor on the case said, I'm pretty much almost 100% sure that this was caused because of what we actually did. But the chief of the Weather Bureau, Dr. Francis, I don't even know how to pronounce that last name. We'll just call him Francis R. Thought differently and appointed 3 of his weathermen to find a case where a hurricane had followed a similar track, but had not been seeded. The case was published, demonstrating that hurricanes could swerve like that without the use of dry ice, and the threats of lawsuits eventually evaporated. Exactly, video Demon Slayer. Shaking my head. The public's early enthusiasm for weather modification slackened. In an era when many science fiction movies featured mad scientists threatening world destruction, or worse, from their hybris, this event seemed to fit the trope. So, for many years after, no scientist dared to mention weather modification and hurricane in the same sentence. 11 years later, the National Hurricane Research Project carried out very modest seeding experiment tests in a hurricane, but kept things on the down low until they were sure the storm wasn't going to pull a swerve on them. It wasn't until 1962 that the U.S. Weather Bureau and Department of Defense reached a formal agreement to carry out Project Storm Fury and the attempt to seed hurricanes again. Apparently real. Oh boy. Yeah. Cloud seeding. Stuff, the fake stuff that only was written about in movies is 100% real. It was an ambitious experimental program of research on hurricane modification carried out between 1962 and 1983. The proposed modification technique involved artificial simulation of convection outside the eye wall through seeding with silver iodide. The invigorated convection, it was argued, would compete with the original eye wall, lead to reformation of the eye wall at a larger radius, and thus, through particle conservation of angular momentum, produced a decrease in the strongest winds. Since hurricanes' destructive potential increases rapidly as its strongest wind becomes stronger, a reduction as small as 10% would have been worthwhile. Modification was attempted in 4 hurricanes in 8 different days. On 4 of these days, the winds decreased by 10 to 30%. The lack of response on the other days was interpreted to be the result of faulty execution of seeding or of poorly selected subjects. These promising results came into question in the mid-1980s because observations in unmodified hurricanes indicated, 1, that cloud seeding had little prospect of success because hurricanes contained too much natural ice and too little super cold water, and 2, that the positive results inferred from the seeding experiments in the 1960s stemmed from inability to discriminate between the expected results of human intervention and the natural behavior of hurricanes. So, for a couple of decades, the NOAA and its predecessors tried to weaken hurricanes by dropping silver iodine, a substance that serves as an effective ice nuclei, into the rain bands of the storm during Storm Fury years. Scientists seeded clouds in Hurricane Esther, Hurricane Blua, Hurricane Debbie, Hurricane Ginger. The experiment took place over the open Atlantic, far from land. The storm fury seeding targeted convected clouds just outside the hurricane's eye wall in an attempt to form a new ring of clouds that hopefully would compete with the natural circulation of the storm and weaken it. The idea was that silver iodine would enhance the thunderstorms of rain bands by causing the supercool water to freeze, thus liberating the latent heat of fusion and helping a rain band grow at the expense of the eye wall. With a weakened convergent to the eye wall, the stronger inner core winds would also weaken quite a bit. For cloud seeding to be successful, the clouds must contain sufficient supercooled water. It's a neat idea, but at the end it had a fatal flaw. Observation made in 1980 showed that most hurricanes don't have enough supercooled water for storm fury seeding to actually work. The buoyancy in hurricane convection is fairly small, and the updrafts correspondingly small compared to the type 1 would observe in mid-latitude continual super or multi-cells. So here we are at the end of this. Even people in Finland can read ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics because their language started it. Yeah, Jean Bondano says, I remember learning about clouds in school, and so many look fake these days, and the chemtrails spread out like crazy. 100%. 100%. You can see the different lines that go back and forth and back and forth. No clouds. No clouds do that. They're all uniquely shaped, just like snowflakes. So in addition, it was found that unseeded hurricanes form natural outer eye walls, just as storm fury scientists expected seeded ones to do. This phenomenon makes it almost impossible to separate the effect, if any, of seeding from natural changes. The few times that they did seed and saw a reduction in intensity was undoubtedly due to what is now called concentric eye wall cycles. Thus, nature accomplishes what NOAA had hoped to do artificially. No wonder the first few experiments thought to be successes, because the results of seeding experiments were so inconclusive, guys, that storm fury was discontinued. The primary focus of NOAA's Hurricane Research Division today is better physical understanding of hurricanes than improvement of forecasts. Best way to minimize the damage of hurricanes is to learn to coexist with them. Proper building codes and understanding the assumption of risks by choosing to live in a hurricane-prone area can help people evaluate their situation. Smart hurricane prep and public education, along with improved forecasting, can help when a hurricane inevitably makes landfall. I don't know. I just feel like it's a bunch of hoopla, a bunch of words. I don't trust anything that's on a .gov website. I used to. Definitely not anymore. I don't know. It's just interesting. Ash said, moved a hurricane and then said, no use of this, and buried it to black projects. Yeah. I'm convinced Florida won't move its power lines underground for depopulation purposes. It's definitely interesting. Drooby Dooby Doo says, love Project Storm Fury. It's interesting for sure. But you know, like I said, it's very interesting. You have your hail suppression, your fog dispersal. Yeah, airports use dry ice a lot to clear fog so planes can land. But just the experimental stuff, like you said, like we figured out we can change a hurricane path, but But we're not going to do that, and there's no inclusive information. So this one's just gone. You know, and HAARP. What about HAARP, guys? You know, um, it's I don't know. You know, and then in I keep hitting this. In 1969, there's a patent for titanium dioxide, supposedly for pigments. Um, but ex post link it to definitely to what they think are chemtrails. I'm not saying it's true, but I'm saying it is interesting. So definitely take a look at that. There's also a 2001 patent for a device to blast sound waves at hurricanes. Never built, but there was a patent for it. So somebody was thinking about it. There's Rainmaker Technology using drones and silver iodine. Um, and just look at what they did in Texas. July 2nd, the CEO came out and said that they actually seeded 2 days prior. I just call a bunch of bullshit. Um, it's just crazy. But then on the other side, you know, what the official story is they said Texas needed rain for crops. 31 million acres are seeded to fight drought. Cities need their reservoirs filled. Um, and that's why they do it. But it's, I don't know, it's just interesting. And then I've seen it a few times in there. You have your HAARP, your HAARPs. It's a rail facility in Alaska with big antennas that send radio waves to study the ionosphere. Science says it's just research, but people in my chat over here is like, ha, it's a weather weapon machine that can zap the sky to make hurricanes or floods. After Texas, people definitely pointed their fingers, and, you know, asked questions such as, can the government control storms? Could the cloud seeding have done this? Why weren't we notified? Why all the hush hush secrets? Um, you know, and then you have the chemtrails, the planes that some say the chemicals there are used to control the weather or even us. You had the blue rain in Texas, which we still don't know is true. I've only found a few videos. I can't find, you know, much scientific evidence on that. So at this point in time, it's just a conspiracy. Um, but I feel like all our conspiracy guys, we're like hundreds to zeros. Like they have nothing on everything that we say. Um, and then you have Bill Gates' name that comes up in trends after floods for funding geoengineering, like Harvard's Scopex project. Um, and like I forget who it was in the chat earlier that was saying that they're spraying calcium carbonate to cool the planet, um, to block the sun, but in the same point, what it's doing is it's causing floods. And you know, once you get big names in there like Bill Gates and billionaires and different people from different countries, it makes you think, and it makes you kind of wonder what's kind of happening. I don't know. I just find it all so interesting. Um that's all I kind of got for you guys. Um so I think I have one more slide left here. So, why is it that way? I don't know what's happening here. There we go. All right. So, my cloud sleuths, we've gone from farmers needing rain to HAARP, maybe zapping the skies. But we do know for one thing, cloud seeding is real. It definitely helps crops, but those floods, the timing's got us all thinking. Science says one thing, but you're my curious crew, and we don't just swallow the official story. So keep digging, my tinfoil warriors. Check the NOAA's reports, but also check X for what people are saying. The truth is out there, and you guys are the ones to find it. But I don't want to let you guys go just yet because that was fun. cloud conspiracies and all your spicy ass takes. So if you're in Texas, stay dry. Keep those eyes on the sky. I was thinking about a UFO episode next, but I don't know what Deluxe Night is doing, but I am taking next week off. Joe is popping in over on YouTube over there. How you doing, Joe? Hope all is good over there, and your farm is good, and you're not getting flooded too much out there. And I think your deck is almost done, right? Apago says hog tie gates and throw them in with the mosquitoes. Dude, mosquitoes, they absolutely love me. It's tough. But like I said, hit me up on X, SHRTY7081. You can reach out, DM me your story suggestions or anything you want me to research or talk about. I appreciate all of you guys for being here. I appreciate all the gifts tonight that you guys had given out. Video Demon Slayer over on Pilled said, great dig. Thank you very much, sir. Again, if you are interested in all of the patents that I have found from 1891 up until 2025, please send me a message on X and I will send all of them to you. But before I go, one more time, like, share, subscribe, comment. Next time you see me, Mom's Mystery Mayhem will have a little bit of a change and it'll be just Gina. So I love you guys. I appreciate you. Smash that like button on your way out. Make sure to find me tomorrow over at Third Rail, 5-hour pop culture beatdown. Tuesday, I don't know if you're still here, crazy dude, but don't forget to reach out so I can send you a link for Tuesday's show. Tweak, you're an hour and a half late, bro. We were talking about HAARP and weather modification. You're always late. Rip, you made it. Gina doesn't go long on Sundays. You guys know all of these things. I appreciate you guys stopping in. Can like and repost, share. I think I'm like one away from 310 followers, so that's pretty cool. We're gonna drop this down. Go over to here. Oh, I'm not gonna figure out those scenes. So I want to appreciate you guys all being here. Tweak, I've done 2 episodes on my show of Flat Earth. You gotta get your show up and running. Invite me over there. Well researched, George said. Thank you guys. This one I actually it was a lot of research. It was 2 weeks of research. Let me see if I can bring it up here. I think I have share screen. Do I have it? Okay, my window. Oh, here it is. Oh, it would help if I fix my screen the right way. Add to stage. So I know it's super small and you can't really see it. I wonder if I can make it. But starting here, this is 1891 method of producing rainfall. These are all of the patents that I looked at, I researched, I found self-focusing antenna systems, electrostatic mixing and microbial conversions, artificial ion clouds, apparatus for suppressing contrails. I mean, there are so many that I looked at, so many that I researched. This is a lot of research that I did the last 2 weeks. My eyes were burning, they were spinning. So again, if you are interested in seeing all of those, just send me a message and I will send them out there. Don't forget, oh yeah, the Holocaust. Yeah, that's in my intro. We'll get to that. I promise you that'll be a controversial one for sure. That'll be fun and interesting. But again, Ash, thank you very much. I appreciate you guys all being here. Love you guys. Again, Next week, Gina won't be live here. Oh, my daughter needs to show me something. But anyways, love you guys. I'll catch you later.
Stop the boat!
We're there.
Where?
Here. A small step for mankind, but a giant step for us.